And I look back at a lot of the women that I had this toxic obsession for, the pressure that I put on them. Wow. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely something that I had to deal with on an inward level because
You don't put your happiness in another person.
why are you so afraid to connect with the woman in your life? Well, everything is rooted in childhood and past experiences, and just dealing with the emotionally unavailable in your life from a close standpoint, be it parents, whatever, all of that stuff. But when you are conditioned, right? When you're conditioned to go towards a certain type of certain type of behavior, if you will, like literally I'm not gonna say the right woman, but the woman that actually values you could be standing right in your fucking face and you don't see her. You can't smell her, nothing. No, it's literally like Molly and Ghost, where Patrick Swayze is standing right fucking here and she walks right through his ass. You know what I mean? It's one of those things because you are not conditioned to that's not what love represents to you. Love is chasing. You know what I mean? So when you've been like chasing all your life for that love of, you know what I'm saying, like a certain type of love that you feel like you didn't get, be it because your parents didn't know how to give it or whatever it was. You just felt like you didn't get it. You know what I mean? And it's an emotional type of love. And because I want to be clear, my parents, they did the best that they could. I'm damn grateful. I know I wouldn't be right here in this moment. Nothing changes if I don't go through everything that we went through. All of us. You know what I'm saying? It's just about learning to be better, learning to, learning that you're healed. You know what I'm saying? But getting back to this whole thing of why I'm, feel like I'm afraid to connect with a woman. So at one point in time, I used to have this blue-pilled, illusion, toxic obsession view of love. So like if I fell for you, may God have mercy. Because if I fell for you, then you became my mother. You know what I mean? And with that being said, it's like you have no room to fail. So how are you expecting the perfect woman? You know what I mean? How are you expecting perfection out of someone when you yourself are full of fucking flaws? But that's what I feel like it was something very psychological that I was dealing with without having the knowledge at the time. But now to be more educated, familiar with with the terminology and just I want to say the psychosis of it all, seeing yourself as this individual who is just was dying to find something elsewhere instead of inward. You know what I'm saying? Love. It's just crazy that you see yourself and you don't recognize like your worth. You know what I mean? And for years, like truly not recognizing how valuable that you are. And so when you do find something, when you find somebody, you find some woman. Let me be clear, damn it. I'm heterosexual, straight as they come. Nothing to, again, all for gays. Get what you want, get what you have. Have your gayness. It's okay with me. I support you 1,000. Get all that you need. But I'm just saying, like, finding, for me, I'm just messing right now. But just on a serious note, like finding, a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like when I find a woman, I lose my shit. Like I'm just like, in this, I would say delusional state of mind that I was in, this very toxic state of mind. If I fell for you, it was just like I folded. Like I lost my identity was in you. I had an attachment. I had an unhealthy attachment to you, and that's not fair. It's not fair to that woman to take on all of that pressure. And I look back at a lot of the women that I had this toxic obsession for, the pressure that I put on them. Wow. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely something that I had to deal with on an inward level, because you don't put your happiness in another person. Your happiness is solely with you. That's it. I don't care, you're in a relationship, whatever. Your happiness comes from you, and you got to choose it daily. You have to choose your happiness like on a daily thing. And what was happening is like I kept trying to Sims my way to the to the perfect relationship. So I wanted to control everything and everyone. And I think it has a lot to do with like anxiety. That's why I mean, like childhood trauma plays a very big factor in that. And so, finding it hard to like connect with, afraid. I won't necessarily say afraid. At one point in time, yes, because I didn't recognize it was fear. Now it's understanding that I'm still patching together the man that I'm not gonna say patching. I'm discovering the man qualities about myself in order to even be considered like functional for a healthy relationship. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, to get into a relationship like right now, literally right now, I know for sure a part of me would still crumble because of that desire. And desires fuck us up. You know what I'm saying? It can fuck us up at times. And just having that desire for something that you wanted all your life, just from an emotional standpoint, can really put a damper on I want to say just an organic, a relationship based on chemistry. Because when you have these desires, you have an expectation. And when that expectation is not met, then you have resentment. And then like a relationship that should just be made, that should have been made on solely just getting to know each other with no entitlement, no expectations, no egos involved. You're just learning who each other are, and you're growing, and you learn to love them. That's really what it boils down to. Now, we can get caught up in looks. Well, of course you want to be attracted to somebody, but those certain looks make you run away with this idea of them, be it guy or girl. Like if a guy sees this woman, he just is crazy about her off of her looks alone, and just has this idea of her. And then he gets with her, she treats him like, I would say, less than. Again, it doesn't value him. I'll say that. She doesn't value him, but you don't care because you got this person, because you put your validation, and you come to this person for validation. Same for a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you can see this guy and you just run away with this idea in your mind of you and him. And when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, because they're only going to change when they're ready, not when you're ready for them to change. You don't change anybody. You will die trying to change people. You literally want to kill yourself trying to change people around you, not just in an intimate relationship, but just everybody around you. The objective is to understand, like, from an adult mindset, that you're not able to control anybody but you. and to learn to love yourself unconditionally, like truly love yourself unconditionally. And yep, that's in the ramble. That's what I do. But I just wanted to say that to kind of give it, I guess, a better introspective of this whole thing about being afraid to connect with a woman. And I mean, the short version of it is like, when you've been involved with women, girls first. Like whenever you would fall crazy for a girl, she mistreated you. She did not value you. So, and then you become an adult, and then you start you try to be in relation, or you get into these relationships with women who don't actually value you. And honestly, you probably didn't value them either. Because if you don't know how to love yourself, how the fuck you gonna love anybody else? And so you pretty much got two people together that don't know how to value each other, right? They're trying to figure shit out, and hurt people. But when you are conditioned to go towards, you've been domesticated enough that this is what you want. You want to be with somebody who behaves like such, just simply based off of their looks right there. But even though they talk to you kind of wild, you know what I'm saying? Like out of pocket at times. And that there is the issue. That lies the issue where you decide that this is what you deserve. A part of you feels like this is all you all you're worth. I'm not gonna say deserve, because you don't get what you deserve in this life. You get what you negotiate and what you tolerate. You know what I mean? So the term deserve comes with entitlement. And I do my damnedest to not live by that. And what I'm saying is that just conditioned towards going towards women that are, I would say, they tend to be toxic for me. So it's trying to understand the difference between what's familiar versus what's best for you, really, is kind of where I am. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm afraid, take it back. I have to take that back. Because I did want to make a point about that fear of connecting. Because it's the whole thing of like feeling that love, you know what I mean? Like, again, just being around people that genuinely fuck with you and value you. It's so crazy how you can be around certain people. Not even talking about like a girlfriend or anything, but just this group of people that actually fuck with you. And you know what I'm saying? You're because of so much heartbreak, because of so many like people that didn't value you, you keep your guard up like all the time, and you don't allow these people in. And then eventually you just sit back and you think, damn, these people, like, they really fuck with me unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to do anything special. I'm just here, and they love me, and they show love. You know what I'm saying? And when you recognize that, again, after being like so guarded for so long, it can be overwhelming, the emotions that come with it. But being truly grateful for these things happening is really what I want to drive home about that. So when I had that, I want to say that epiphany, not too long ago, actually. It was like right around New Year's when I was home in Miami, and I was with my best friend and his lady and her family, and I just sat there and I was like, yo, I never really allowed myself to, like, I got to a point where I felt like I couldn't trust anyone. I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was afraid to open up. I was living in fear, really. I was living in fear, and I did not want to allow anybody in to kind of, just dealing with so much inconsistent love. You know what I'm saying? Like having that roller coaster shit. One time this person, like, they hit you up, and they disappear. Then they show up, you let them back in your life, and then they disappear again, and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you have people 1 minute they're there for you, and the next, it's like when it comes time for you to actually need them or something like that, they're nowhere to be found. So you get used to it, and as a form of protection, that's what you do. You protect yourself. So and that's where I found myself. I was just really in like protection mode, trying to avoid having anything like that occur again. But to sit there and know that you love yourself unconditionally, but you also allow people to love you. You know what I'm saying? Unconditionally, just showing love, man. Literally, just that's it. Just being random acts of kindness for nothing, and having conversations about anything, just vibing. It was a beautiful thing, and I'm forever grateful for the family that you know what I'm saying that I've created over the years through my military days, and even my family I grew up in. You know what I mean? I don't want that to get like as if I don't fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't get down with my family or nothing like that. It's just that when you're around each other a lot, you take each other for granted. You do, family wise. Can be, and you got your own pain. Everybody's got their own pain that they're sitting in, and they project it on the others. So it's just wishing for that positive and healing energy for everyone in the family, so that family can be, you know, more oriented and have conversations that they don't get defensive about. You know what I'm saying? But that I mean, yeah, said a lot of rambling. I think I drove home a message that it was this fear of letting anybody love me and not feeling you know, like you didn't want to go through, like relive a certain pain, because that's what pain does. It's like an alarm system. So if you ever felt it before, you don't want to feel that shit again. And but great thing is recognizing it, because once you recognize the fear or an attachment, it loses its power. So going forward, recognizing these you know, this idea that was in your mind, because it's just all about switching your perspective. So getting better as going through therapy, as doing your own stuff on your own, like researching and soul searching, meditation, sorting thoughts, all of that shit is going to help get better going forward. So yeah, live in love, not in fear. What's the most frequently asked question by women interested in you? Why are you single? If I had a dime, penny, whatever you want to call it, $1 for every time I've been asked that question. You know, just, and it's really after having conversations, really. Like, you know, when you have a conversation and you get a peek of how somebody's intellect is and, you know, their mindset and how they see things, it's like, oh, damn, why would a guy, you know, an attractive guy like you, be single or something like that? And I mean, to answer the question, like, by choice. Choice for a lot of reasons. Fears, yeah, we call it that. Fears of, again, learning to love yourself unconditionally and being able to, trust the individuals around you and obviously the women that you encounter, being able to trust them, in a sense, like, is she there because she values me? Like, is she interested in me for me? Is she value me? Or is she there for her own ego and validation? You know what I mean? And that is a question that gets posed in today's society when we're drowned. We are saturated with so many options. You know what I'm saying? Like with the internet, with social media, with shit, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, shit like that. Like, we're just so everything is so saturated. So things aren't as everything loses its value when you have so much in abundance. You know what I'm saying? And dating today ain't the easiest thing in the world. You know what I mean? It's like, because all of us are fucked up ass kindergartners. Let's just call it. We're in pain like a motherfucker. Our inner children are driving the wheel a lot of times in this life. So anything that reminds us, that triggers us from a pain that we received before, a lot of us run like fuck. Or a lot of us keep going towards like the pain, thinking that there's some kind of reward on the other side for allowing this person to disrespect us. So what that means is that means we don't respect ourselves enough to set boundaries and remove ourselves from a situation. But yeah, just this single life, it it has its ups and downs. Like I said, there's a lot of upside to it. One, the freedom, and like understanding that you take time to work on you, truly. Like, I mean, literally build yourself up to become a better person, in hopes that when you do get into a committed relationship, and you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, it'll be a lot healthier than what you normally come from. Now, if all you know is unhealthy ass relationships, yeah, I recommend those people to really like go to therapy, understand, so you can see yourself really, and be able to remove your ego and look at yourself and be like, okay, this is where I fucked up. Fuck anybody else, because you have no control over them. But to be able to look at yourself and be like, damn, wrong. This is what you did. This is where you fucked up. These are the parts of you that are toxic for your let's say your progress as a man, as a father, as a worker. All these things, all these behaviors, and these certain toxic qualities that you have, where you have to readdress. Are you even ready to be in a friendship with anybody? You know what I mean? And when you see like certain parts of you, narcissistic parts, just toxic all around parts that can pose an issue, that can put a damper. It divides the communication between you and somebody that may even actually value you, but you're so used to not being valued that you push away anyone that tries to love you. And which is a trauma response, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what the fuck it is. You're not able to see the forest from the trees. But it's not all is lost type thing. It's really, everything is about awareness and recognition. You know what I'm saying? So if you're able to see yourself, and you're like, you know what? I keep making the same, I keep going on the same pattern, the same cycle. So what you do is change your story and change your decision of what you can do. You have the power. It's just like we get into these mental blocks where we do the same shit. We start falling back to the same person. We see the same person and the same behaviors in different people. And we go towards those patterns, and you'd be like, damn, man, how the fuck did I end up in this shit again, right? But everything is about, it's only, your focus has got to be on you. And nothing anybody else does is ever about you. It's all, it's all about themselves, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I said choosing to, like, again, why am I single? Yeah, I'll say freedom. The ability to heal and to step back. When you've been in such a toxic, when you feel like you've had such a toxic, I want to say path in life where you've put everybody before you and you didn't value your wants and all that stuff, and you became a people pleaser and a chameleon and all this other stuff. But to finally get to a point where you're learning how to say no, and you're setting healthy boundaries, and you're doing what's best for you, and you don't give a fuck how that other person feels, in the sense, like, if you're doing what's like best for you. Like, if I'm doing stuff, if I don't want to go somewhere, or if I, you know what I'm saying, and say no to this, not feeling bad about it. And if anybody that gets upset when you tell them no had an agenda, you got to understand that, and, just let it be. That's not for you to take personal, because anger is a choice response. So, I mean, you're not responsible for what, you're not responsible for how people take what you say. You're only responsible for what you say. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be, it's recommended, you don't necessarily have to be, but I'll say that you want to be more cognizant of how you deliver things to people as much as possible, because we literally can say the same thing in two different ways. One could be aggressive and one could be assertive, and you're gonna take it differently. You know, like if I'm aggressive about some shit, like your hair is ugly as fuck, and then assertive is more like, you know what, I'm not really a fan of this hairstyle for you, but that's just my personal opinion. And you know what I'm saying? There's a difference with it. I was to the point. I didn't lie. I said I don't really, you know, I'm not a fan of this hairstyle, but I didn't say that your shit was ugly as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come off defensive, when you come off aggressive, that in turn is what you get. That's what you'll get in return on average, because most people aren't able to, you know, I say monitor how they deliver shit, and pick up when somebody like if somebody says some foul shit, you get defensive, like you internalize it, you make it personal, and then you respond with the same kind of harsh shit. And that's not what you want to do. You want to be able to respond in a way that is peaceful. You know what I'm saying? Like in a way that doesn't show that you were rattled. Emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Why am I single? It's choice. It's like I mentioned earlier, it's some fears and stuff. It's really learning what is for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were doing shit just because you didn't want to hurt anybody type shit, that people please and stuff, but actually learning what the fuck is best for you, what you're into, is serious business. Like, you know what I mean? So that's always good. I mean, being single is not, I don't see being single as being like a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, good and bad is all subjective anyway, but I mean, for me, it's beneficial. At this point in my life, to learn exactly what's best for me, what I'm into and what I'm not into, what works for me and what doesn't. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I see it. And I hope that anybody else that's single who's been in relationships, who sees the fuck shit that's gone on in relationships, to be able to learn what's best for them and ask the right questions, get to know people, and try to, again, just being open and being honest, so that we all get exactly what we're after, so that we're not falling for a character. You know what I mean? And have the courage to be, I'll say, be as authentic as you can, and bear your, you know what I'm saying, and share how you feel, truly. Yeah, just bear your soul, as far as like your intentions and all that stuff, and give that person like the choice whether or not they still want to fuck with you. So it's kind of like, I think that's pretty much all I got on that shit. But yeah, single by choice, definitely.